What is up, amigos? Today we're talking about the effects of a car roof on a drag. And the reason why we're talking about this today is because in one of our latest videos, we did the aerodynamics of a Cadillac Eldorado from 1959. And many people were going, well, this car has a really bad drag coefficient, it was 0.89, but there are other cars that look very similar but have roofs, and their drags are like half. Why is that? And what effects does the roof have on the drag? So that is what we're going through today. So just straight up, as a blanket statement, having a roof on a car usually reduces the drag by about 30%. So that's a big difference. So if you were to get anything in a roof version compared to a convertible, you're saving about 30% in terms of drag. But why is that? Well, let's talk about first when the car has a roof, and we've done a bunch of different videos on general aerodynamics of cars with roofs, but now we're talking about the differences between them. So we have two cars here. The top one has a roof and there's a happy driver in there. And the flow comes along as you'd expect, and it goes along, and ideally it will stay attached over the front here if this is rounded enough and coming down enough. And this is best case scenario. We'll talk about worst case scenario a little bit later. But best case scenario, the flow comes along, stays attached, then goes over the windshield, and now it will also stay attached over the roof. And again, this is also depending on if this is rounded enough. And as we get to the back, hopefully this backlight angle will be smooth enough for the flow to stay attached down here and come around the back and separate from the back here. So the flow over the entire car is attached. That means that we're not getting much pressure drag because we're not getting big weights in the rear here, and that reduces the car's drag. That's best case scenario. For a convertible, obviously the flow comes in, and let's say again, the flow stays attached over the front, that's nice, and it goes over the windshield here. But now there's no roof to stay attached to, and it's just gonna go up, and there's gonna be a huge wake in here. And also the rear here, usually the flow is not going to come back and stay attached, it's just gonna be a bigger wake even here, and a bigger wake even here. So we have a huge portion of the vehicle in a big wake. That is going to result in low pressure on these back facing faces. And we have the higher pressure on the front facing faces. That means that pressure drag is high because we have low pressure at the back, high pressure at the front. That's a pressure difference which results in a force, and that's pushing the car backwards. That is what we get, usually a 30% to 40% increase as we take the roof off. And if you have a convertible that the roof can go back on, then you can reap these benefits again. Now that's best case scenario, as I mentioned. What about worst case scenario? So if you have a poorly designed front, which pretty much no car these days has, but let's say you go back 50, 80 years or whatever. So the flow then will detach here and you get wakes here. It will then hit the windshield and it will have a high pressure here. Then over here it will separate and you get a big wake here and a separation over here and at the back. In that case, the reduction that you get in drag going from the roofed version to the convertible version is less because now we have wakes here, which is more drag, wakes here, more drag, wake here, which is more drag, and obviously just a bigger wake in general. So this 30 to 40% reduction is low because we can still get wakes here and a big wake here. Obviously the wake here is bigger than here because you still have some of the roof taking up some of this volume, but nevertheless, we do have a wakey structure here, which is increasing the drag. So that is the effect that the car roof has on the drag, and what would happen if you were to have a, let's say the Cadillac Eldorado with a roof compared to not a roof. It's about a 30 to 40% difference in the drag, mainly due to the pressure drag, but also partly due to the vortex drag as well. So that's this video. If you liked it, make sure to click the like button and the subscribe button, and I'll see you soon. Peace, amigos.